morning routine. I wake up typically around 7, something like that. Yeah, about in between 6:30 and 7 usually. I get up, I have a cup of tea, black tea, and then I mosey down here. It's nice and cold. We'll walk down and check out where I do my meditation and prayer in the morning here. This was the first thing I built when we got here all those years ago. This is where I meditate and pray in the mornings here. Just sit there, turn the space heater on. Usually after about 5 minutes or so, it's nice and toasty warm in there, and I can turn the space heater off. And that's where all the magic happens in the morning. I usually spend about an hour in there, doing my thing. But yeah, it's important to start your day like that because it colors the rest of your day. If you start your day connecting with the divine, then the rest of your day continues with that same frequency, that same vibration, that same energy. So however you do that. I come from the Kriya Yoga tradition. So I do a pretty complicated breathing practice and meditation practice and all that, but also pray, and also consider myself a Christian mystic. I don't buy into mainstream Christianity. I don't buy into Paul's so-called Apostle Paul, who never met Jesus, self-appointed Apostle Paul. Think he was a charlatan and basically a cult leader of his day. So I don't buy into any of his interpretation of Jesus and his life and all that. But I've studied the Essenes in depth, which is the sort of, John the Baptist and Jesus were basically Essenes who then left that movement and started their own thing. And the Essenes were vegetarians. They practiced ritual purification, bathing rituals and living waters, the Jordan River, for example, and these pools that they created in their communities and whatnot. And they shared all their wealth. They didn't have any private property and everything. Anyway, John the Baptist and Jesus came out of that movement, and they changed some things and modified a lot of those teachings. But then the original Christians, were known as the Nazarenes or the Nazarenes, and the Ebionites. They were also vegetarians and practiced a lot of the same traditions carried on from the Essenes and everything. So I tend to adhere more to that original Christianity before it's corrupted by Paul and others, and some of the Gospels aren't accurate either. But the Gospel of Thomas is fantastic. It, if you look at the research of Elaine Pagels, John Kloppenborg, Helmut Kester, it seems like that was the oldest Gospel actually written prior to some of the other Gospels based on this older so-called Q source material. It's complicated, but anyway. So I read passages from the Gospel of Thomas, and I try to sort of unite my consciousness with the Christ consciousness, as it were, and I study the original Christian movement and all that. And so I go in there in the mornings, I do my thing, I meditate, I pray for about an hour, and then that colors the rest of my day, and I try to carry that higher vibe, that higher frequency out into the world and everything I do for the rest of the day. All my interactions with people, with animals, with plants, with nature, with Divine Mother, and just try to channel the Holy Spirit, all day long, channeling the Holy Spirit. But it's so much easier to channel the Holy Spirit when you purify yourself and you purge yourself of all the bullshit and all the karma and everything each morning, and you get your head nice and clear, you get your energy nice and calm, and then you go out into the world and do your thing. So many people, they wake up, they immediately start getting on social media, and just participating in all that nonsense, all that superficial, shallow, fake bullshit. And then they go to work, and get stressed out. They eat a bad diet. But anyway, I think if more people would start their day with an hour of connecting with the divine and resonating with that divine frequency, it would change the world. Totally change the world, man.